In this video, I'm going to be drawing some big weirdo NPCs and sharing a few ways you can make your own characters a little more fun for the gaming table. So I'm drawing a few characters for my new zine, Flick Silverpen's Guide to Big Weirdos. It's a collection of 25 unique characters that you can throw into your fantasy tabletop role-playing games. They're all big characters like ogres and treants and owlbears and stuff, and they work great as allies, adversaries, quest givers, or just random weird characters that your players can stumble across. The zine will be released very soon after this video comes out, and you can get access to the PDF by joining my Patreon, link in the description. There are all kinds of crazy oversized characters like this edgelord demon, a chef dragon, this majestic giant eagle with a secret, a treant cult leader, a huge swamp slug, and there's even a cyclops named Carrot. Lots and lots of fun characters in the zine, and I'm starting with this drawing of a mountain giant who has this floating treasure chest he's protecting or hoarding to himself, trying to open. But you'll see as I go, this first drawing doesn't quite capture what this character is all about, and I change it up a little bit here. You know, I've been trying really hard to make these characters as interesting and useful as possible, and I might have been struggling a little bit, but I think an experience that I had running my game Starborg this past week might have shed some light on how to take a boring NPC and make them way more fun to run. Okay, I'm gonna pause real quick here on the Starborg story while I start over on the mountain giant drawing. The character wasn't feeling right. It looked like he was swinging the treasure chest around, not that he was fighting to lug this flying chest that's trying to escape. So I'm starting over, drawing it again, trying to infuse as much character into this illustration as possible. So last week I was at Origins Game Fair in Columbus, Ohio, hanging out with my pals and playing games. I ran a quick one-shot of a Starborg adventure, the evacuate the rebel base scenario. It was a lot of fun, but afterwards I was kind of bummed out about this one part of the game. The players are trying to escape their rebel base while the Empire assaults it. They have a few goals to accomplish before they can try and get away. They have to retrieve a data pad with a bunch of secret rebel information, rig the power supply to explode, and rescue a fellow rebel. And the first thing I did was I had the players roll to see who their rebel pal would be, but I didn't take a beat to think about who this character was and how they knew them. They rolled up Baruba here, and immediately one of the players said, "Oh, they are definitely going to stab us in the back at some point." That would have been an awesome nugget for me to latch onto, but I didn't. I let it go from my brain. And even later, when the players found their way into the surveillance operations area, the droid character hacked into the computer to try to find Baruba on the cameras in the base. And once they found him, they even tried to communicate through speaker or something, and I was just really kind of vague, not pushing the story forward with my response. I said something like, "Get out while you can." I'm not sure why I said that, because I wanted the players to actually find this Baruba character and help them escape. Luckily, all of the players were cool and played along, even though I didn't give them a super good reason to. Eventually, they're making their way through the rebel base, dodging stormtroopers, and eventually they locate Baruba, and they found him locked in a room. And I decided that he was locked in there. An inactive security bot was blocking the door, and he was locked inside. The players had a fun fight with the enraged droid. My pal Michael almost died, and they ended up rescuing Baruba and heading towards their ship to escape the rebel base. But for the rest of the adventure, Baruba was just kind of standing in the back of the group, not doing anything, not contributing, not complicating things in any way. If I would have just taken my own advice, thinking about how I'm presenting the NPCs in the zine I'm working on, I would have given Baruba just the tiniest little bit of backstory, just like how the characters would know him and why they wanted to rescue him. It could have been something super simple, just enough for them to care about the character, and it would have made the game way better. And honestly, I didn't even need to come up with it. I could have just asked one of the players how they knew him. Everyone at the table was such great role players. They would have come up with something better than what I could have. And then that would have prompted me to hopefully take a second and give Baruba a little bit of a personality, give them some motivation, and maybe I could have come up with some kind of setback or extra conflict that could be added to the encounter once they rescue the character. It would have made them more than just an item to check off the to-do list and become an actual memorable part of the story. Now that I'm back from Origins, I have this experience under my belt. It's really got me thinking about how to make the zine of big weirdo NPCs just a little more fun and a little more useful. So as I'm reworking things, rewriting a little bit, I've decided a lot of what makes a character interesting can be described in a tiny bit of text. In the Big Weirdo zine, each character has their description, a little bit about their voice, what they sound like, their manner, or how they might react to the players, and then what they specifically want, their real motivation. But also, each NPC gets its own illustration, and because I'm doing these drawings to go with each NPC, I don't have to write a ton of description or anything. The text describes this manticore as this lethal bounty hunter who's paid in rare books, but I can show off that she has huge wings and sharp claws right in the drawing. I don't have to spend time or waste space describing that stuff in the text because I have this drawing. So my hope with the character illustrations is that I can draw them with enough character that you can almost hear their voice. Just by looking at this illustration, what do you think this crazy manticore sounds like? I think she would probably talk really quietly, like a whisper you don't hear until it's too late. And maybe I should give her some sort of satchel that she keeps her books in. I'll have to add that for the final zine. Now, this giant cursed skeleton I'm drawing is described as having a voracious appetite. The more it eats, the bigger it gets, but people are mostly okay with it because everything it eats just kind of like falls through its rib cage or whatever. Having a big appetite is a pretty one-dimensional motivation for a monster, but explaining that it's been cursed by a nasty wizard adds a level of complexity that can be fun and get players interested. What if the players are searching for this wizard's tower, but before they get there, they come across this crazy, huge, towering skeleton, and it says that it's been cursed to give a hint about whoever this wizard is. And while they're having a conversation with this huge skeleton, what if he picks up one of the players and tries to eat them? I'm thinking make the skeleton talk in like a funny teeth chattering voice and like non-stop mentions of how his non-existent stomach is grumbling. Adding all of this stuff in, you get the kind of encounter that I love in RPGs. Is it the most dangerous, world-saving kind of encounter? Not at all. But I feel like these are the kind of characters players really latch onto and end up really sticking in their memory. The skeleton's manner isn't necessarily threatening, but it won't hesitate to try and pick up one of the players and eat them, so it's like a little bit of a conflict there. And really what this skeleton wants is just to remove the curse that's been placed upon it so it can return to its normal size and maybe rest peacefully, and so that ends up being a quest hook for the players. So I think that's all you really need to make a fun NPC that's easy to run at the table, not too complicated. It kind of gets hard to manage everything in your head, but not too light that it becomes a boring encounter. Let me know what you think of these NPCs down in the comments, and if you think they sound cool, check out the Big Weirdos zine on my Patreon. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya!